It says we're live, but I don't trust it. Now I trust it. Hello, everyone. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black One and Only, here with Ryan and
Michelle.
Yes. And as you guys probably guessed based on the title of this video, I'm going to be talking to Ryan and Michelle about a number of topics that have been going on. Specifically, topics that I've identified as being weird nerd news topics. Now, one thing that I'd like to do is set up the camera in a place that makes sense. So that's my current goal. We're going to figure something out. So if I put the camera here, right? The pillow's all weird. Pillow's not super stable, but if I put it here, in this place where you guys haven't seen it on the stream, so you have no idea what I just did, but here. Now, we could technically all be in the shot, but if I move the chair closer, we could all be in the shot and they can just see us better. Right?
If that's something you want them.
How many people are watching?
One right now. We just started, Michelle, with no prior advertisement of what we were doing.
Like he hasn't sent the link to the Discord to tell people to join.
That's true. I sure haven't. Let's see if people join naturally. We're gonna go for that. Or maybe not. Maybe we should just share. Yeah, okay. So let's promote the fact that we're doing a stream to see if we can raise engagement as I block Ryan or crop out Michelle's knee angle. Also, welcome our current one viewer. It's good to have you. Ryan talking about sharing the stream. I don't see a link for it. That means I immediately give up and we go into the topics. Okay, cool. So the first topic that I have for us to discuss today, Netflix has a new Cowboy Bebop series that is going to be premiering this fall. It's going to be a live-action Cowboy Bebop show. Okay, interesting. Tell us more about the why.
Have a live
Okay, I have an
action
answer.
Cowboy.
I have an answer on the why.
Yeah.
To make money.
That is true. Also, I do think Cowboy Bebop isn't too crazy of a show to adapt into live action. There are certain series that are so like special effects heavy where you could be like, if you guys made it live action, you're either gonna like really dumb it down.
I mean, it depends on how good you want the effects to look.
Right.
Because they'll just look better in animated cartoons and stuff.
I feel like some things.
There's something about like
justice
live
to how
action
stuff looks.
superhero things. It's like it's always almost just gonna be better to either translate what the artist was drawing in the book, right, into a cartoon. You know, like what's those it's like Jack Kirby. You know when they do like the beams, it's little dots and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You can do that in a cartoon. You just have the little dots and things. In a live action, what would you make that? Bubbles? Just turn into a regular
It'd just
laser
be like
beam?
a laser beam.
Yeah, but like to translate like art styles
Mm-hmm.
from comic books to thing, you can't do like art styles in live action as much. You can do like, you know, cinematography and like costume design. But you can't really do art styles the way you can in like cartoon.
I mean,
You
you can
kinda
have like
can.
a specific aesthetic.
Agreed.
Like
And you can
set
adapt
design
like
and stuff.
costumes
Sure,
and stuff. You can even
sure.
do the little bubble particle effect thing by doing the little like dot light effect that you'll sometimes see when you're driving and you see how like a traffic light is
I know
so
what you
bright
mean.
it looks like a circle.
But I
in
mean,
it.
like, it's still easier, and I think you should just go with that. Primarily, just do a cartoon.
I don't really
Just do the cartoon.
I don't think that applies all the time.
Cartoon, Nick!
Especially for stuff like Captain America. I just feel like we just can do that like pretty honestly in film, and it's not even that crazy. He's kind of a guy.
Until he runs
right?
into some crazy ass guy.
Yeah, but Captain America normally fights people within his wheelhouse.
And then he doesn't.
Yeah, but that's normally like an Avengers thing or something.
How
How often is Captain America fighting people who are just doing like crazy stuff? It's
Every
like,
single
how are
Avengers
they gonna do? Yeah, but that's Avengers, right? Like he just has other homies with him. Yeah.
Is it gonna have the Avengers things be cartoons? Live action Cap over
I'm
here?
just saying there are like plenty of comic book things where it doesn't have to be too crazy to adapt it in live action.
I'm just saying, I would always prefer, and I think it would look better, if any time you're adapting a comic book, you just adapt it into the medium of a cartoon.
I don't think
You
it
know?
always will be better.
Yeah, I think it would be.
There are some merits to live action.
I agree.
Sure, but I think all those, like the cartoon still outweighs all that thing.
I mean, that's personal preference, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just disagree.
If they want to make a new Cowboy Bebop show, you can make a new cartoon. So make a new cartoon.
I don't know. Because I feel like there's nothing wrong with, like, the animation of, like, the older Cowboy Bebop. It's not like I look at it and go, this is, like, an outdated, like, crappy-looking thing. Like, it looks good.
The thing about outdated is that hand-drawn things are outdated insofar as no one does hand-drawn anymore, that you kind of can't.
But that doesn't mean that it, like, looks
Yeah, it doesn't
like
look better. It
crappier.
might even look
Yeah.
better, but you can't go back to that anymore. Is the thing. Like, the industry has moved on, so there's no, like, people who know how to do hand-drawn unless they're, like, old and stuff, like Don Bluth.
I mean,
Not dead.
there's some
He can
people
do it.
who just do hand-drawn stuff. Skullgirls is, like, a hand-drawn video game, as is,
Right.
like, Cuphead and stuff
Right,
like that.
but like
Still
this,
done.
like the guy who owns the Swan Princess movies and stuff. He was talking about, like, yeah, if we want to do sequels, we have to do CG because we can't find anyone to do, like, the hand-drawn like we did in the older movies. Like, you know, like Pixar came in, a lot of it's just CG now. Or like digital cartoon thing, like they flash animations, that sort of thing. Maybe you could, but it'd be like too expensive or something to be able to find those people who can and stuff.
Nerd
Like a
Tanker
movie budget.
said, hello, Ryan and Michelle. Ryan and Michelle had no response to your hello, but hello, Nerd Tanker. I hope
'Cause,
that
like,
you and
back in the
Phoenix
day-
are doing well.
Like when a bunch of these hand-drawn movies were being made and stuff, that was just what everyone was doing, right?
Yeah, but you can also just get people who can do hand-drawn stuff. Now, it's just like a choice of whether or not you want to take it in that style and if you want to do it. I agree that the industry's
Budget.
moved away from it, but
Probably
that doesn't
more
mean that you
expensive.
can't do it. I agree. Well, I guess that's like a weird thing, right?
Because you can make a lot of these
'Cause-
like cheaper, shitty-looking like CG things.
Well, you can also probably like make ways to do the older style just better using like modern technology to help with how we did hand-drawn stuff. Because we had like kind of primitive
I mean, like
techniques for
using
how we used
like
to
an
do stuff.
imitation of hand-drawn.
No. Still hand-drawn, but just make stuff that makes it easier to do hand-drawn stuff.
In what way?
So back in the day, we used to have like these devices. It's weird to say we as if I was doing it.
The animation industry.
Right. They had these devices where you could kind of like see like a previous like frame or whatever while you're like drawing like a new frame. You could just have like updated versions of little innovations like that using modern technology. That just makes it easier for you to hand draw stuff. Because even back then we were using tech. It was just like lower grade tech to help with the hand drawn process. So I don't know. Like it's one of those things where in a retro futuristic concept, where like someone may not have thought of the concept of CGI, they may have imagined the future of animation just being still hand-drawn, but we have like better equipment to make the hand-drawn stuff easier kind of thing. You could just do that now. I'm not saying it would be less expensive than CGI or whatever, but I don't think it necessarily has to be as hard as it used to be. You know?
We should tell that to the guy who owns the Swan Princess movies. Saying how hard it was to find hand-drawn stuff or do that.
I mean, you just need to like have people who are like down to do it and have people who are down to like improve it to just make it easier for people. Also, he should just talk to the Cuphead people and like to like the Skullgirls people or whatever, because those are just like two modern examples of like really big endeavors into like hand-drawn animation. Because it's not just like they drew a short; it's like they had to draw like a game. Everything in that game is like a hand-drawn animated thing. So it's still like a thing that exists. But Dozer said, bro, if you don't get out of my house. Yo, Dozer, welcome. Good to have you on the stream.
Yeah, Nick, get out of his house.
We're in my house. Well, apartment, to be more precise. Let's see. Lorenzo said, hey, Nick, how you been doing, brother? Yo, Lorenzo, I hope you're having a happy, fun day today. Thank you for tuning in. I'm doing well. Right now, I'm chilling out with Ryan and Michelle, and we're talking about some weird nerd news stuff. The first topic of the day that we have been talking about, I guess, for the last like 10 minutes, time flies, is the new Cowboy Bebop live action series that's coming to Netflix this fall. Apparently, it has the same composer as the original anime. So the music, I imagine,
I
will
still
be
haven't finished
consistent.
watching Cowboy Bebop.
I think it's
The
okay.
show, let alone movie.
Understandable. I've seen both. I think it's okay. It's one of those things that gets very hyped. It will be like, if you want to get an anime, you should start with Cowboy Bebop because Cowboy Bebop's like the best thing. It'll suck your dick. It's magic. It's not really that good. I think it's fine. I prefer stuff
You
like...
think it's overrated?
I do think it's overrated. I prefer stuff like Outlaw Star. I feel like Cowboy Bebop does like the space sci-fi thing and then says, but what if we don't really lean into like the alien part of it? Like it's just not an alien heavy thing. It's not all about like alien stuff.
Some sci-fi is just like, yeah, we like did like a colonize the solar system. There's no aliens in the solar system, so there's no aliens here.
Right. And I find
smaller
that
scale.
less interesting
As opposed
personally.
to like, like Star Trek or something like aliens all over the fucking place, tripping over aliens.
So I really like how Outlaw Star is like a very similar concept, like space bounty hunter anime kind of thing. But there's like aliens, and he also has like these like interesting bullets that have some kind of like magic thing, but you don't really learn a lot about how the bullets work until like near like the end of the series. There's a lot of world building stuff in Outlaw Star that I feel like Cowboy Bebop just doesn't have. Let's see. Lorenzo Haynes said, seriously? Yeah. So Cowboy Bebop is getting a live action show on Netflix, and we've been talking about like live action adaptations versus animated adaptations. His preference is animation. I think they both have their merits.
Always better.
I thought you said comics were better.
Like comics to cartoons is better than comics.
But like the best medium.
What do you mean?
Didn't you say something like comic books or something was the best medium?
I don't think he said that comics were the best medium. I think he was saying in order to adapt like the style
No,
that was
I'm not talking
happening
about
on the
in this
page.
conversation. I just mean.
Oh, in a different conversation. Then I wouldn't have.
Yeah,
any
I know what
context,
you mean, and the answer is still yes.
Okay.
If you're trying to do like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, so they had a conversation I wasn't in, so I don't even have context for what they're talking about. Dozer said, "Have you guys seen?"
It's some sort of like quote thing. Is it like Neil Gaiman or someone? Someone was saying like if you had the best like writers in the world, right?
And the best
and you had the best artists
in the world.
you'd make a comic book when you put those two things together. Right.
I guess it depends on what kind of art, right? If it's like visual art, like drawing and stills and stuff, then yeah. But if it was like
3D CG.
Well, yeah, like if it was like an animator, or if it was like a person with like a camera or something, they'd probably just make a different thing. Like it depends on what kind of artist you have.
Yeah.
I don't know. What if the best artist in the world who draws also just animates stuff? Like
And draw on the animation. You can also just draw the art.
You also just draw it on like a computer or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've heard that quote before.
Yeah.
Like I heard what you're talking about. It's just a quote that
So I think that's
assumes
what
stuff.
Michelle was referring to.
What if the best
Me saying
writer
that.
writes like movie scripts or so, but they don't write like comic books? Like I don't know.
They should. They should though.
It just
Wouldn't you want them to write comic books, right? As a comic book reader.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they would. I just feel like there are assumptions being made by that quote.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dozer said, "Have you guys seen the Sweet Tooth show on Netflix?" I think I know what he's talking
I
about.
don't know this time. Never
So there's this new Netflix.
I don't look at Netflix a lot because I'm not logged in on my computer or my phone, so I don't see the new shit updates.
So Sweet Tooth, I believe, is a new live-action Netflix series that is about like a world where they're like human and animal hybrids, and it's based off of like a DC graphic novel that
the thing with the horn,
the antler guy.
Yeah. Okay, I know. I didn't know the name. So it's a thing where you like see a thing, right?
Yeah.
And then someone asks you, "Have you seen the name of the thing?" And I'm like, I don't know there's no like connection between the thing and the name of the thing.
Right. So someone has
It's
to.
like if you've
describe
seen
it
like
to
a
you.
famous painting, you don't know what the name is. Like, I know what the painting, I could recognize it,
If
but
you
you don't
saw
know
it.
what the name. So someone asks you the name, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
you'd be like, oh yeah, that is. It's like that all the time.
So the answer to your question is, I think all of us are aware that it exists, and it is based on a DC comic. I personally have never read the comic. I've never watched the show.
Lots of DC comics.
And I don't have a particular interest in checking out the show. It seems Vertigo, very indie kind of thing. So,
which is a DC thing.
So, there are a lot
like
of
the
like
Sandman show thing they're doing.
Sandman seems closer
Well, I mean, it's
to
a
something
Vertigo
I would
thing.
like. It is a
It's
Vertigo
DC, and they're
thing.
doing that too.
Right. So let me explain what I mean when I say the Vertigo thing. DC Comics, for the most part, does a lot of superhero stuff. But their Vertigo imprint is supposed to be more like, it's for like adults and we'll touch like different topics and not everything has to be like bright colors and capes and shit like that. And that's just kind of
Like
not
the Sandman.
And
It's all like spooky.
But that's not really what I read comics for necessarily. Also, based on what you've told me about Sandman, there just are normal superhero things that like show up. Like you mentioned Martian Manhunter
Yeah, it's in the
or whatever.
DC.
Yeah, like it's still
they go and they talk to like Constantine one chapter,
Yeah.
and then him and Constantine go talk to like, Martian Manhunter is eating Oreos and shit.
So like that's closer to the kind of thing that
general...
I might check out, right? But I just feel like the stuff that goes really far off, where it's just not superhero stuff for real.
I mean, most of Sandman is, but it's also in the DC
right.
universe.
So sometimes that's why I'm like,
You know?
there's a little nugget of something I might want to see, right? But I feel like a lot of that where it gets too far from the superhero
especially
stuff,
like
I don't care.
when they do like the multiverse map. You know, the Dream.
It's just on.
That's why that's on the map because
Yeah.
it's the Sandman thing.
Mm-hmm. Dozer says it's pretty solid. It's a unique idea. He said about comics though, I got Batman Earth 1 Volume 3. It just came out. Oh, ballin'. I hope that you enjoy Batman Earth 1 Volume 3. And I might check out Sweet Tooth if I realize that it's like super good and worth my time or whatever. We'll just have to see. Ryan acts as if like I can't see the screen that shows the thing.
I didn't act like that.
You're like, I gotta hide it. You gotta hide, like he doesn't already know. But yeah. Do you guys have any plans to check out Sweet Tooth? Those are just asked us about it. Not currently. Similar, not currently. What about you?
No.
No? Okay. Next topic. Going down the topic list. So fans are hoping to see a Joel Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. And they want to set social media
Do you mean like
ablaze.
fans of Batman Forever? Or like fans of Joel Schumacher's filmography? Like, who fans? Batman fans?
Venn diagram, I would say. They're like the booty crack of all those different fan groups. There's like they like cross over there for
Like
wanting to release the Joel Schumacher cut.
Knights of the Round Table Swords meme. Everyone's putting the things in. It's like Schumacher cut in the middle.
Sure,
Yeah,
haven't seen the meme, but I can visualize. It makes sense in my head. So yeah. Idiot X said, hey, yo, welcome. It's good to have you. I like his name. I like to do the X thing when I say his name. Welcome. Right now we're talking about the Joel Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. Fans are like, we want that. And they say that next week they're going to set social media ablaze. They're going to just be hashtagging the Joel Schumacher cut. It's like a coordinated effort kind of thing. So I used to say that Batman Forever was my favorite Batman movie. Because I think Val Kilmer does like a really good Bruce Wayne. I don't think his Batman.
Why do you not say that anymore? So you used to. Past tense.
So it's one of those things where you know you really like something, right? And you're like, wow, this is great. And then you think about it and you go, okay, that's your favorite Batman movie? What Batman movie have you watched the most times? And then you go, oh, the first two Christopher Nolan Batman movies? Oh, how many times have you watched them? Oh, you used to rewatch them daily. Oh, okay. How many times have you rewatched them forever? And it's like, oh, I watch it sometimes. It's like, oh, you
feel
sure
like it's not actually my favorite, I guess.
Right.
By whatever metrics you use.
Yeah. I think if something's like one of my like favorite movies in particular, that normally means that I like revisit it often. So I would say Batman Forever is like an interesting film. It's like the first like somewhat serious live action Robin interpretation, because the Adam West stuff is like full like comedy. The 1920 serials would beat it. They were doing kind of a serious Robin thing beforehand.
Did you say 20s?
Well, that's too far back. Yeah.
Yeah.
The old black and white serials. It's not
like 19 years before Batman was
exists.
a thing.
Yeah, that's too far. maybe 20 years. Because I think Superman's 1939 and then Batman's like the year after or something
40?
like that. Yeah.
Okay. It's even worse of a gap.
Right, yes. But the
20
old
years.
serials or whatever for Batman had like a quote unquote serious Robin, but those weren't even too serious. Batman Forever draws the line between being like a campy romp of a superhero film and being kind of like a like serious approach to it. And that's what's interesting about the Joel Schumacher era of stuff until you get to Batman and Robin, where it's just actually just super silly. We're just trying to sell toys. It loses a lot of its serious nature.
Credit card.
Bat credit card. Never leave the cape without
Bat
it.
nipples.
That's like a real thing. Idiot
Why
X
would
said
the bat credit card that he could just
X.
use a normal credit
Then he
card?
said, cool. Batman
When
cannot
Batman
be beat.
goes to the coffee shop and he uses the Bat credit card, because if he uses Bruce Wayne credit card, they'd know his secret identity, Nick. What if it's when he needs to pay for things as Batman? But then he's like, what? Like at the bank at
Right.
Batman trying to get the card in the first place?
How does Batman get a card with the bank? I guess the city could throw him a bone. Like, it could be a thing where it's like, Batman, do you want like a key to the city? You just beat the Joker. And he's like, no, I want like a credit
'cause
card.
It's like, okay. So if a superhero has a secret identity, right?
Right.
Does that mean they just can't like use a credit card? You just have to use cash? Like, does he have like Batman reserve cash in his utility belt
He has
if he
a
needs to
bat
like
clip
buy
on
something?
like a band.
You know, like there was a Justice League cartoon episode, right? Like doing the weird dreams in your. The bad guy is like a dreamstone thing in your brain. You don't remember that? Anyway, so he's like if you fall asleep, you get all fucked up because he's doing like nightmares in your brain. So Batman's like, I gotta just stay awake. Coffee. So he's like doing the Batmobile to a
Why would
coffee
you
shop
drive?
because he needs to go to a place and he's driving the Batmobile.
Batman, you're rich. Just get coffee sent to Wayne Manor.
He's like on the way. He's driving.
Where? Is he? If he's driving to get coffee, then that's stupid.
He's not driving to like on the way of his driving. He's like falling asleep, so he needs more coffee.
Where is he trying to
stop.
drive?
Oh.
Just don't drive if you're trying to fight sleep, Batman. That's how you crash.
To avoid that, he's doubling, tripling down on the caffeine
But then don't
at
drive.
a coffee shop thing.
Don't drive, Batman.
Probably needs to drive for some other reason.
Why can't Alfred drive? Or just auto driving
It's a Justice
car.
League episode. Alfred's not in it.
Let your car drive you. He has advanced technology.
Anyway, so he's
While
at the
making
coffee
bad
shop.
decisions.
He's getting coffee, right? With like all the caffeine, right?
Mhm.
How does he pay for it? As Bruce Wayne or as Batman? With this bad credit card thing.
As Batman, probably not with a credit card. Just have him carry cash, and that actually just sounds better.
Yeah.
I think in that movie, part of the reason why he needs a Bat credit card or whatever is because it's like a betting war for like Poison Ivy. So I think they're like saying like a whole like big numbers. He couldn't just be like, Batman always carries $50,000 or some shit. Like it makes more sense, I guess. But then,
It doesn't make more sense.
you could accept credit cards in an auction potentially.
I mean, you could.
That doesn't sound
Maybe you
impossible.
could convince them that I'll pay you back. Trust me, Batman. I don't know.
No, you could credit card it because the credit card person will definitely pay, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like once you whip it, because credit cards usually have like your name on them.
Yeah, but his says Batman. That's the whole point of the Bat credit card. You explained this earlier.
Right. But like, but the problem with that then, right, is then the bank knows your secret identity. What?
Because that's what I was saying
Just go
earlier.
to the bank as Batman and ask for a bank account.
Well,
Just like open it.
I think it could be a city thing. Because even if you did go to the bank, they'd probably ask for like your social or something.
Right.
I think it would have to be
Okay.
I
What
talked
about
to
this?
the mayor.
What about this?
And
What
I
about
got
this,
a
right?
hookup.
Bruce Wayne buys a bank.
I own the bank.
And then
He could hack into the bank and make an account under like a Matches Malone fake.
yeah, but what if he
head-ass
doesn't want to do
identity?
an illegal thing? So he just
He's
buys
always doing illegal things.
I know, but sometimes
He's
he's not.
buying the bank to do an illegal thing to make the fake account anyways. That's still illegal. It's the same shit. Let's see. So Idiot X said Batman cannot be beat. I disagree. He put up an emoji of like a bat and then
Yeah, do
like
you know who could
the
beat Batman?
male emoji, I think. Is
The-
that male or female? I think that's male. The arrow up and to the right
That's
or whatever.
male.
Yeah. He said, I sound stupid. You don't sound stupid, Idiot X. He said, I love the girl in the back. I think he's referring to Michelle, unless there's just someone further back.
Well, he's talking about me. I could be that.
Are you a girl?
If he
Maybe
wants
later.
to be, I guess. Lorenzo said, hey, Nick, not to take your my clouds.
It's clout.
My
It's
cloud.
clout getting you.
But can you and everyone follow me on Instagram? If
Clout
people
chasing.
want to follow him on Instagram, feel
Do you
free
have
to
anything
do
cool
so.
on Instagram to
Yeah,
see?
you should let people know what's on your Instagram. Do like an ad. Give us an ad read. But yeah, Batman Forever used to be my favorite movie, like favorite Batman movie.
I don't think I've seen it.
You've never seen it? We should watch it.
It's a 20th century cultural reference Joe hasn't
come out?
seen.
When it come out, like in the 90s,
It's like early 90s.
I couldn't tell you that much.
Because that,
The first Batman movie,
The
like the
89,
Michael Keaton
yeah.
one. Well, it's not the first Batman, but you know what I mean. Of like these newer ones, was 89.
yeah. So
So it's
later.
90s.
Was it like 97?
I don't think so.
'Cause
I think Batman and Robin might have been
Is that
97.
what I'm thinking of?
Batman Forever is the one that came out before Batman and Robin.
Okay, so it's an
And-
earlier one.
Confusing, by the way, because Batman Forever is the movie that introduces Robin.
And then Batman and Robin
Is like, yeah, after that. And that introduces Batgirl. It's weird.
Yeah, but Robin's also in it. He's still here, so we put him in the title.
Sure.
You know, okay, so if Batman Forever is introducing Robin, right?
Right.
So you could call that movie Batman and Robin, but it's like a Batman movie plus Robin, right? But now that they're a unit, the next movie is Batman and Robin still together as a it's like a team
Maybe
name.
you don't want people to know
Right.
when they're going in.
Like it's a surprise that Robin's gonna. Was it not in the promotional
So
material? for
like Batman Forever could just be a Batman movie, and Robin is in the movie, but they're not yet like a team. Like they're getting there.
That is
They're
what the
trying to
movie's
team.
about.
Right,
Like them, like
right.
growing into.
And
a
then
team.
the next movie is like team unit name, but Batman and Robin don't have like a Justice Super Friends team name.
They do the dynamic duo.
Why did they name it that? Got him.
Maybe because people don't know.
And then Batgirl's there, so it's like a trio, and you fucked it all up. I don't know. They could have just named Batman Forever that, or switched the titles.
Batman and Robin could have been like Bat Family or whatever, because by that time they have like the main members of the Bat Family set up. Yes,
That's the producers. You know what the fuck is with these names 20 years ago?
I will say that like the Batman movies have a lot of lazy names, like almost all of them, to be honest.
The first one,
Yeah, it's like the first one's just Batman. Then you have Batman Returns. Okay, cool. Then you have Batman Forever. Then you have Batman and Robin. Then you have Batman Begins. Then you have The Dark Knight, which is actually a better name. Like it's not. This is pretty good. Then you have The Dark Knight Rises. It's like, oh, now you're just getting back on that lazy shit or whatever, right?
Rises again because he already began.
Now, the
Lego
most-
Batman.
that one also is pretty basic. It's just what it
It
is.
doesn't need to be fancy.
And then the Batman.
Which is about to come out, but you skipped Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, which just is a long ass name. They actually did add more to that name, I guess. It would have been base if it was just Batman v Superman.
Then we had to put Wonder Woman in.
We didn't add the Adam West 60s Batman movie name. I think that one's also just called Batman or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, they don't put a lot of
And
effort.
All of the other
Like
smaller weird
animated Batman.
things.
Those have
Well,
real names.
Well,
though.
Mask of the
They're not-
Phantasm and stuff.
I don't think those
Sub-Zero,
have
like,
lazy
all those-
names. Those are just named well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they just have names.
Like the live action ones, I think they don't put a lot of time into naming. Except the Dark Knight.
Live
I think
action
that's just
suck
fine. That's
because the names are bad. There we go. We solved it. We cracked the code.
all they have to do is just name the live action things better. Like,
But they won't.
Lorenzo said, I didn't like that movie. Batman Forever wasn't that bad of
Which
a
movie?
movie.
We just named 10 movies.
He said, do you think the Injustice movie is going to be good? They shouldn't be able to mess up the Injustice movie. I don't-
Pancake Superman.
How do you mess it up?
They're not going to call him Pancake. That's how you mess it up.
Because, like, the Injustice story
I was like, what the fuck is
has like already been told in the video game, and then again like in the comics.
And then again in the movie.
Well, they're making the movie, but like
Once they made the movie, again in the movie.
Again.
so it just seems like it shouldn't be too hard to just do it again, but just
It shouldn't
animate
be
it
too
out.
hard, but it can
Just
be
adapt it.
for some incompetent people to do.
Well,
If you get incompetent people to do it.
I don't think they're going to encompass. I'm sure the
Well, who's
same
doing
people
it?
who do the normal DC animated movies should be doing it. Fingers crossed, hopefully. Like, yeah, like, I think it'll be fine. I have faith that it won't be a garbage fire.
To Bruce Timm to do it. He does the best
A
animated
low bar.
ones.
Low bar?
That is not a garbage fire.
It's
I
not
mean,
an actual fire
I
of
think
garbage.
it'll be, like, good. Like, I think if you like the Injustice story,
Pancake
that
Superman.
you're gonna like,
What do you mean
This-
by Pancake Superman?
then I think you're gonna like the Injustice
You're
animated
supposed to
film.
explain.
So let's see. A lot of this news, by the way, is about like series and movies and stuff. A lot of series and
Harley
movie
Quinn
news.
was making a kind of weird alternate universe reference explanation of her own way, and she had pancakes.
He's trying to explain the Pancake Superman thing.
So when Superman from another universe showed up, he's Superman from the Pancake universe. That's what Harley Quinn called it.
Oh.
Is what I heard, yeah.
Lorenzo said Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice was really good to me, but I think going off of the very first teaser trailer at Comic-Con, it looks like it was supposed to be a different movie there. So Batman v Superman has like an extended cut version that I haven't watched that people have said is better than like the normal version of the movie or whatever.
Yeah, but it's just a low bar. It's better than the low bar. So
I mean, to be honest, Batman v Superman is a movie.
as if it's hard to be better than these like shitty like theatrical versions, right?
It could
Same
always
with, like,
be
Justice
worse,
League or
to be
whatever.
honest. When you like extend
You
a
know?
movie, it could
Well,
just
yeah,
make
but
it
like
worse.
you know, the Snyder cut is better than the original. It's a low bar, right?
Not necessarily. I don't know, because I didn't think the original like Joss Whedon Justice League was that bad. For real, it was pretty okay. It wasn't like the best thing in the world. I think Batman v Superman wasn't the best thing in the world, but I don't think it's like an awful movie.
I've been doing it all day, Michelle. I do that.
They're brother and sister. They had that banter.
Prove it. Put it square the thing.
We have the same like hair color and eye color.
Yeah, but
Nose.
Lorenzo
There are
said
other
it
ways
was
you can
boo-boo
prove it.
cheese. Boo-boo cheese is an interesting rating for a movie.
Cheese.
like boo boo cheese out of 10.
Boo-boo cheese. That's our new review system. So
I mean, that's just one rating on the review system. It can't be the whole. Is everything boo boo cheese out of 10 if that's the rating system?
oh, sure.
Like
that-
1, 2, boo boo cheese, 10.
Why would it be like that?
I don't know. You said
Where
it
are
was
all the
whole
other
rating.
numbers?
That's what I'm asking.
Maybe Bubuchi's the first one. And you just like
Like,
add
that's the
numbers
lowest.
to them.
Like sub 1 boo boo cheese.
Yeah. Boo boo cheese. Cheese. 1.
It's just 1 out of 10. Cheese.
Let's see. Lorenzo said lol.
Oh, whoa.
So, yeah, I actually would watch the Schumacher cut of like Batman Forever. I would give it a shot.
As opposed to the previous one, which wasn't.
Like the idea that there's like more movie. Like we know there's more to Batman Forever. Because we recently saw like deleted scene stuff that came out. There's a
So there's
scene.
deleted scenes.
The
But there-
deleted scene.
A lot of movies
Stay
have deleted scenes.
deleted.
Yeah, they edited them up for a reason. Sometimes though, no, because the deleted scene like had a important plot thing, so you take it out and there's like a weird plot hole shit or whatever that's happened in movies.
Now I will say.
It's like an example of one. Oh yeah, it was in Endgame. There was a thing explaining or kind of doing the time travel thing of like why Cap and Tony, like why Tony knew where to go back in time for the Tesseract thing at the military
Ah.
facility. There was like a scene thing where he's like looking at photos or whatever back in his house when he's like working out the time travel thing, but they cut that out, so it's more of a why did he know that? Sort of, it was in a thing that they cut. Yeah,
He's just smart and knowledgeable about history. I guess I don't know.
well, they had an establishing thing of how he came to know that. Apparently, is what the internet told me when I researched.
That's fair.
Very cool.
Now, I will say, a lot of people talk about how the Snyder Cut stuff is kind of silly and how people keep asking for cuts. But to this day, people say, like, the Donner cut of Superman 2 is, like, the best, like, version of that movie.
Yeah.
Like, director's cuts
and then
just can't be
taking
genuinely
the George
good.
Lucas CG shit out is the best cut of that movie. Just go back. Hit the go back meme button.
Now, I will say,
But for reals, though.
I've never seen the theatrical version of Watchmen, but I've heard it's, like, pretty bad. But I actually really like the director.
It's just
cut.
another
I think it's,
example of
well
these,
done.
like, Warner Bro, like, DC movie, like, theatrical thing gets all cut and shit. And so you need a normal. Just put that in the theater. What are you cutting it for? Like, time? Like, I don't know. Why? You keep doing that. You keep fucking... How long are you going to keep doing this? 10 years?
It's contagious.
You know, like, when did
I heard
Watchmen
it
come
has to do
out?
with regulating brain temperature or some shit. Like,
Then
why
why is
people
Yeah,
yawn.
you heard that on the
Why
internet.
is
So
it
does that
contagious?
change?
Maybe we're all...
Why do we
ten-
yawn?
Maybe the temperature of the room, we're all...
Jed doesn't know. He
brain
just heard shit on the
adjusted.
internet. He hasn't checked.
Okay,
Okay.
I
Nobody
checked on the
knows.
internet.
Does the
where I
internet
learned
know? Or are they just making shit up? They think. I don't know. Anyway, right? So,
So,
when did Watchmen come out?
it. The like original
Yeah.
graphic novel.
No, the movie. When the movie come out?
2000s.
Yeah, but when? What year? Give me a year.
Couldn't
It's
tell
a
you
whole
off the
ass
top of my
decade.
head. Yeah,
Or a whole ass millennia, if you want to do it that way.
yeah. I don't know the specifics.
wait.
21st century is the 2000s.
Yeah, but it's not like I could be referring to the future.
You know, 2001 to like 2999.
But of course, that's just impossible for that one.
Well, I guess not 99. 2000. It'd be like the 10
He's trying,
after that.
He's trying something. So,
No.
2200. Yeah.
don't worry, we got more topics. Got to hit you guys up with some fresh topics.
Well, that'd be the century.
Are they fresh?
yeah,
Like, they're on
these
the
are
list.
all from
Yeah,
today.
When did you make this list?
Today.
He makes these lists all the time.
So, Warner Brothers
Fire
and DC Entertainment's Blue Beetle film will forgo a theatrical premiere. It's just going to be on HBO Max, they say. What are you guys' thoughts on? I mean, to me, that just makes sense. We just passed
If
by
I
a
wanted
movie.
to watch it, I'll watch it on Soap today.
To be honest, yeah, that's what I would do too, for real. So today's a website where you can just watch like movies and TV shows
Illegally.
for free or whatever. Yeah, illegally.
Are you telling your audience to do illegal things?
I didn't tell them to do anything.
I will.
Also, I could be wrong about this, but I think this is right. I don't think watching things on Soap Today is illegal. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the illegal thing is like illegally distributing like a thing that you don't own,
That's what
right?
the FBI commercials said.
And they say that like torrenting is illegal, but it has to do with you like getting like a copy of it. Like you're
Selling it.
downloading like a thing. Like now it's in your possession. We can like say you took a thing you didn't own. But if you stream something on the internet,
Well, if you
didn't, like-
distribute that thing, or not just
Well, it's
exhibit
also-
it, exhibit it like a theater. You're not allowed to put it like even the DVDs you own. You're not allowed to take that DVD,
and then just
plug it into like a movie theater,
and then
broadcast.
show it to everybody.
because like on the sort of like contract things for owning a DVD of a movie and stuff.
What counts as
Is
like,
It's for like
Yeah, like
private settings, you know, like on a home theater thing, as opposed to an exhibitor thing, which is like a whole movie theater thingy.
You have limited rights to like
Yeah.
the stuff or whatever. Just watching it on Soap Today is no different from like watching like a movie someone uploads to YouTube. You didn't upload it to YouTube. You're not the one who's doing like the mass distribution, nor is there any like illegal downloading.
You're not the
things
one they're
happening.
going to send a cease and desist to.
Right. So I think it's fine to watch stuff on Soap Today. I'm not telling you guys to watch stuff on Soap Today.
I will. It's cheaper, so you should do it for that
Yeah.
reason.
It's free.
Yeah, it's cheap, very cheaper.
Lorenzo said,
you said very and very
Yes.
er.
The-
Seems
I did.
unnecessary.
Lorenzo said, I know this has nothing to do with anything, but in Transformers The Last Night, Optimus Prime had cut Infernakis in half. His eyes were purple, and in the movie when he did it, his eyes were blue. I think he's talking about like a trailer versus a movie thing. Yeah, they change stuff between like the trailer and the movie like all the time.
I mean, because in movies you can have like, inconsistencies in special effects, but also a bunch of time you'll have like different like trailer house people to do trailers versus people who do movies. Like, there's just different people, right? That they'll like send some footage to a trailer field to go make the trailer. So that's like music and stuff in trailers is just not music in the movie because it's not,
Trailers also can be made at different like moments of production.
Yeah,
it could literally just be a thing where his eyes were going to be
well,
purple,
like a bunch of the
then later
things
they
I
just
heard
said
from
no.
like a Sideways video is a lot of like soundtracks, like John Williams Star Wars things, is some of the last thing to get made in like the movie production cycle, right? So whenever you have like a Star Wars movie trailer, it's always like before John Williams has done his new, Episode 9 music, so they have to come up with some other random stuff to put in the trailer. So it's something else, right? So that's the kind of things that happen in that.
Let's see. He said, yeah, my bad. I wasn't being clear. No worries, Lorenzo. So in regards to the Blue Beetle film kind of thing.
Just doing a cheerleader thing.
I think it's fine for the Blue Beetle film to be coming on HBO Max. Like Ryan said, we'll probably watch it on Soap Today or whatever. I'm sure there's someone who feels butthurt about the fact that like Blue Beetle isn't going to get the time to shine in a movie theater kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, if your favorite character was Blue Beetle, wouldn't you be a little upset that he didn't get the opportunity to actually be on the big screen? You're just going to be watching at home? Because it almost makes it feel like it's like a direct-to-DVD kind of thing.
There's not as much prestige in it.
Right. But I just think it makes sense. Less people are going to movie theaters in the first place. It's not like a huge thing. I think it's fine for it to be on HBO Max. Especially if they're just going to do like a Blu-ray release later or a digital release later where you like buy it and own a digital copy. I think it's whatever.
There's a hiccup. No.
Let's see. So Batwing, I mentioned this to these guys earlier while we were hanging out. Batwing is coming to the Batwoman TV show. It's going to be like the first live action version of Batwing that we'll like see kind of thing. And we already have like pictures of it that are out. If you guys want to check out those pictures of Batwing, I have links in the description to like all the stuff that we're talking about. But this is what Batwing is going to look like in the show. I'm showing them. You guys can't see what they're seeing. I kind of like what they did with the suit. To me, it looks not as like high tech as it does in the like comics or whatever. In the comics, it's like a full on Iron Man kind of thing. In this, it looks a lot more like a Batman Beyond suit, but with like Nightwing colors.
Like it looks more like some of those like Batman video games thing than like a Batman Beyond suit.
Well, have you ever seen a Batman Beyond suit where they try to like show what it would look like in live action? I think it normally does end up looking like a like
yeah, sure. But like the cartoon is always like just a
flat
flimsy
black
thing that has all this like nanofiber technology pulling out shit, just flopping around.
Yeah. He's saying that it looks like a cloth suit, but like all the tech stuff is like built inside, kind of thing. It doesn't look like super mechanical or whatever. I think the Batwing suit looks fine. It kind of makes me want to see what they would do with a Nightwing suit, because it really just kind of looks like a Nightwing suit in many ways. But yeah, I think it looks fine. What are you guys' thoughts on how it looks?
I don't care.
What are your thoughts? Similar? Okay, yeah. I guess I would like to see, like...
I don't watch the Batwoman show.
Me neither.
So I don't care.
I sometimes tune in. I think it's weird that we haven't seen him do, like, jetpack stuff or have, like, big glowy bat wings or something. Because that's just a part of Batwing, is that he's essentially Bat Iron Man. He's like the Steel of Batman. Because Steel is like black guy in a power armor suit, but I'm a part of like the Superman family kind of thing. I just was explaining it.
Yeah, but she hasn't like seen either the movie versions that just came out,
or like the animated, or like a comic, or
the
like
old
any
one,
version.
or like the DCAU version. She hasn't seen any.
Right, I get that. That's what I'm saying. It's like a power armor character who's black, who's a part of the Superman family, is Steel.
He has a hammer.
And then Batwing is like a black power armor character that's a part of like the Bat family.
Is that like a trend or something?
I mean, it's 2. If that's enough for a trend, like I don't know. There's not a Wonder Woman one as far as I'm aware.
I mean, in terms of like anyone getting like power armor Iron Man suits and like Marvel or something, you know, like.
Well, it's like getting a power armor suit and being like a black dude and being like a part of like an established like.
So if we give Miles
family,
Morales an Iron Man suit,
then like he would count, kind of thing. You could argue Riri Williams fits it very well, but that's also like the hero she's a reference to is already in a power armor suit, so it's not as weird, you know?
Yeah, it's like just a black successor to the
already power
armor
person.
guy.
And War Machine would also fall in that category, but it's like already from a power armor thing, so it's not weird.
It's also like in that like, because with Miles Morales, it'd still just be like the black. Not Black Spider-Man, but like, you know, like that, like Miles Morales is an already character in like an Iron Spider suit thing, right? As opposed to just like a new character
and their whole thing
Iron
is their
Spider
power armor
black person suit thing.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the same thing with like Riri Williams and some of these other characters.
Well,
it's like it's not a new character. It's like a kind of old new character doing the thing.
Riri doesn't have like a long-standing history prior to being Ironheart kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Lorenzo said, I seen it. Exactly. But one of the pictures looks like they just photoshopped his helmet on. I think that's the one that we're looking at now.
Well, maybe it is.
Fallen.
Maybe the whole show just has a photoshopped helmet on. Because they're like, the actor's like, I don't want to wear a fucking helmet. So like, we'll just, you know, the mustache removed just on the whole helmet.
He's talking about like the idea of CGIing it in or something.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot easier.
Well, you don't have to CGI it. You can just yeah, sure.
Lorenzo said, but overall, way better than most of the suits.
You don't have to make it look good on the face. You just have to make it look good on the suit, like the neck, like
the
a seam
whole
or
thing
whatever.
could be CGI when you have a big ass helmet. Am I wrong? Like, I think that's accurate.
I mean, they kind of do that for like these end games and stuff.
I've heard that Iron Man's only like fully suited up, like
the
in like a
first two
traditional
movies,
suit. Yeah, I thought it was just
everything
once.
else is like CG and stuff. No, this Iron Man 2 also had a bunch of the practical effects that Iron Man 1 had.
But did like Robert Downey Jr. have to suit up fully in Iron Man 2 ever? I heard he only had to do it like one time already, like in the first movie.
That'd at least be like one more time. What, really?
I mean, he didn't like wear it that much in the first
in the way that like you have an Iron Man head, like it's just Robert Downey Jr. in the suit, as opposed to like here's a suit. We don't actually have to have the actor in the suit because we can just like.
I think you could
CG
fairly
suit.
easily make it look like Robert Downey Jr.'s in a suit without him wearing a practical suit.
That's what they do all the time.
That's what I'm
with
saying.
this.
Yeah, I think he only ever had to suit up for real once, based on what I've heard.
I don't know.
We'd have to.
But
look
I do
into
know
it.
that there were like real fully metal suit costume things for Iron Man and Iron Man 2 that they had at least.
Doesn't mean he
once
has to
or
wear them.
Well, yeah, I don't know how much he's wearing throughout the movie.
Someone else
They did
wearing
do that.
That could be.
Stunt double.
Also, when he blows up all the suits, it would be nice to have like real suits to blow up. It could make like the explosion stuff look cool or whatever. They do shit like that all the time. I'm surprised when you see like movie car crash things and like in the like special features, it's not like a CGI car. That we blew up a real car. Like,
or
did
no,
you
it's like
have
we
to?
flipped a car.
Yeah, they flipped like a real truck. It's like, did you have to though? If it was CGI, I don't think I'd
I
notice.
just wanted to.
Yeah, that sounds expensive. But I noticed that Lorenzo said that the Batwing suit is like overall way better than most of the suits on the CW. I guess that's like an interesting thing because it makes me think. Well, what are the CW suits like most of the time? I thought the Black Lightning suits looked fine for the most part. I guess Black Lightning's suit, like his specifically, I didn't like as much as say like Thunder and Lightning's apparel or whatever. But it was okay. The Flash's suit progressively
Which
gets
one?
better. Well,
Like,
once you hear the full
latest
context
Flash
of the sentence, doesn't it now make sense what I was saying?
I know, but I mean, okay, so you're like the latest one as opposed to the one after
I
that?
literally am saying they're progressively getting better.
What if they retrogress?
They haven't yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. I think
Just his suits, like not everyone in his show?
well, not everyone's suit is constantly changing or whatever. It's mainly his. And I'm glad that his suit's getting better.
If you had him doing like time travel episodes, would you have earlier suits? Like, do they
Yes,
still
and
have
they have
the
done
suits? They have done that?
Yes, they have done time travel stuff.
With earlier suits.
Yes. That is a thing. They've gone forward and backwards.
So we've seen future suits.
We have seen
Future state suits.
It's not future state. Chill. Okay.
Yeah, but it could be.
So, I'm not sure if I would say that the Batwing suit's like the best CW
Still
suit I've
watching?
seen, but
Video
still
will
pretty
pause
okay.
soon, the TV says.
Oh, where's the remote? Right here.
Didn't know.
Still watching.
Thanks
There
for
wasn't-
confirming, says the TV.
Okay. So next up, Nightwing director Chris McKay is hopeful that the movie will get made, despite being delayed. Do you guys think the Nightwing movie is actually going to get made?
Never heard
There's
of
a
it. until
Nightwing
now.
movie happening?
See? So, I don't know.
I think it won't, because I don't care.
Because I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess what I'd be curious about is like, is the Nightwing movie supposed to be within like the continuity of like the Snyder
Batman?
stuff?
The Batman.
Like, is it the Snyder stuff or is it like the Batman?
Or third thing, because isn't
Or,
Batman
like,
supposed
new
to be like young Batman?
Oh, it might be.
Because like the Batman from the cartoon is sometimes kind of youngish, like Little Robin and stuff, not like Nightwing Robin. So like if you had a Nightwing and a younger Batman, it might not work. Because you kind of need a little older Batman for that Nightwing.
You would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I guess one thing, right? There's another.
Unless you do time travel.
Well, there's another option. Because
Right,
the new
that was-
Flash movie is supposed to like fold in Michael Keaton Batman or whatever.
So you got some other Batman Nightwing thingy.
Mm-hmm.
Earth 2 Nightwing.
Don't
Or-
say Earth 2. Don't give it that number. Specific connotations.
Keaton movie Nightwing.
Yeah, like you could do a whole bunch of stuff.
Robin from the Batman and Robin, but now he's Nightwing.
They kind of gave him a design like Nightwing, to be honest, in those movies. Lorenzo said, nope. And then he said, which will be in the movie? Which Batman will be in the Nightwing
Is
movie?
there gonna be a Batman?
You could not have a Batman in a Nightwing
Yeah,
movie.
you can be like the fuck Batman.
It doesn't have to be a fuck Batman.
Well, I mean,
thing.
you can though.
It can.
Because it's like the series of fuck Batman.
It could literally be like, we're following Nightwing. He's already established in Bloodhaven. He's doing Bloodhaven shit. Batman's just not in it. Batman's not in
I was
Bloodhaven.
watching, or
Where?
Mom and Dad were watching the Titans show,
It's a city that's worse
and Bruce
than
Wayne
Gotham.
did for the first
That's
time, like
the main-
Why
actually
is
show up.
Batman not there?
Batman was born and raised in Gotham. That's where
They
his
needed a
parents
place
died.
for Nightwing to be.
That was
You know,
worse.
like everyone
so
gets
that
like
he
a
could
new
prove
city or
himself.
something.
That's not always what happens.
I mean, not
Signal gets Gotham during the day.
Sure, but a lot of the times they just invent a city.
No. Batgirl is also just in Gotham.
I'm saying for a lot of other
Batwoman is also just in Gotham.
non-Batman.
Name somebody who gets their own city who's an offshoot of a character. Always.
I'm not saying offshore. I'm just saying other DC things have other movies, or not other cities.
Yeah, but that's just normal.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes it is.
Yeah, for like Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Flash.
Yeah.
And even like Dial H for
Teen
Hero
Titans.
or whatever. But a lot of these like I'm a sidekick and I became my own person things,
Well, I mean the Teen Titans.
they just don't a lot of times get their own
like Jump City or something over there, wherever the tower is,
I don't think that's how it is in the I don't think it is Jump City normally or whatever.
wherever it's at.
Wherever it's
Where is it at in the comics?
I think it's like real cities. I know in the New 52
In
it's
the
in a real
TV
city.
show, they have their apartment thing. It's essentially like their version of the tower. Is in I think they're in San Francisco.
That sounds right. Because they do like to put on a little island or whatever with big T. have to have somewhere where you have a
A
little
coast.
island. Yeah. Let's see. Next up, so I talked to them about this already, but I do want to share this with you guys. There's a little bit of the weird news. An anti-vaccine expert is what they call them or whatever. They apparently are like a real MD, like a doctor, claims that the COVID vaccine...
Just because they're an MD doesn't mean they're a vaccine expert, though.
That's why they put it...
Yeah,
they
I
did
know,
like a
I
hard
know.
air quote thing. Yeah,
They-
They don't call him an expert.
they do. That's just from
Yeah, right.
news
But you
thing.
don't have to say expert.
But their
You
whole
can just
thing
say
is they're shitting on him. That's the point.
doctor, not qualified to talk about the
Quack
thing.
doctor.
That's
is
why
talk-
they're doing the
Right.
air quotes thing.
But you don't have to call
It's
him
a
air quote expert.
sarcastic shit on.
get-
It's like a whoosh moment. Is the whole point is it's a
I know.
joke, right?
Right.
Right.
But you can phrase it differently to make it even harsher.
But then it's not a joke. It's just an insult at a certain point.
Then do that.
You
do
like,
that.
just shit on them.
Right.
You can. That's just not what they're
Go
doing.
hard.
But an anti-vaccine expert, MD or whatever, witness claims that the COVID vaccine causes forks and keys to stick to your forehead, and they theorize that it has something to do with 5G
Okay,
network
they say
towers.
forks, but what about spoons?
The world has to know.
Sporks?
So there's like
It's like a half fork.
there's a
I don't
video.
think I've had a metal sport.
They exist.
Can.
No.
Like camping gears, a bunch of metal sporks. I like the
I
sports
don't
stores.
think so.
Right. Well, why don't you have one? Do you have
She just-
plastic sporks?
Yeah, I've only ever used plastic.
Well, get a
sport.
better spork.
Do you have a better sport?
No.
Do you have a metal sport?
You guys living in the
No.
same house arguing about utensils that neither of you buy. So when it comes to the like vaccine thing, I actually find this really interesting. And I tried to have a conversation with Aiden about it, but it just seemed like he didn't have shit to say. What the fuck?
It was something on the blanket.
Probably from you. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, it's not spraying on my floor. It's not like a pinch of salt or some shit. I don't know what's going on. So, anyways, I think it's interesting for people to believe that the COVID vaccine gives people like magnet powers. It's such a ridiculous thing, right, to bring up. But it's also interesting that they're like, we believe that it does that and we think it's bad. I think is the thing that throws me. If someone told me that there's like a life-saving vaccine that's like helping a whole bunch of people, and also you get magnet powers, I wouldn't be like in a meeting going like, we have to stop the vaccine. Or I'd be like, yo, where can sign me up? What, you getting powers?
Nick is the first one to die, and the magnet powers goes wrong story.
I would.
Knife.
Yeah.
I
Goes
are
to the forehead.
Spoon in the forehead.
Lost an eye.
scoop your brains up. It's more convenient.
It
for the
doesn't have to go into
zombies.
the brain, Nick. Just the forehead. She's not saying it's attracted to the brain. The forehead, right?
Where is she saying it's attractive?
Forehead.
Like how this doesn't work.
What
Is
if
this
I
like
go to
a-
the back of the head?
Is this like a Wolverine where he's got like a metal forehead? Like, I don't know.
So-
Wolverine has a metal forehead?
He's got
He
metal
has an
on his
adamantium
skeleton, which includes his forehead.
Michelle's like,
He's got a
I
metal
don't know about
forehead.
Wolverine.
She hasn't seen any of them Wolverine movies.
I guess any of the X-Men movies. He's in like all of those bitches.
Well, yeah, but if they do like a Weapon X, like Origins Wolverine, like in the first movie, he's just kind of there.
He has bone claws in the. What do you mean he's just kind of there in the first movie? Ryan,
Like the first
I will
X-Men
actually
movie, the
fight you.
2001.
in
he shows,
most-
they're in like Canada. Like there's like his trailer thing getting blown up. It's all snowy.
Are
Do they like explain his origin in it?
So it's not
Like
that
the-
they explain his origin, Ryan.
So she wouldn't know about the metal skeleton as much.
I
Okay.
know.
So
I
Right.
forgot about it.
So what I was gonna say is that like all those movies like follow him though. He's like the
I
main
know.
character, like all these bitches.
Like the Wolverine movie, right?
Well, also just of the X, you
Yeah,
follow
I know.
him for all the stuff.
Yeah, and then he's got his own non-X-Men spin-off X-Men movie.
It's not non-X-Men,
Well, it's a Wolverine movie.
right? And that just makes it X-Men. But that's his whole thing.
Yeah, but you can just have Wolverine and X-Men character, right? In like the Avengers or something.
Mhm.
That doesn't
But
necessarily
then
make it
it's
like
an Avengers thing.
right, but it doesn't.
But if you just
But if he's
take
just by
Wolverine
himself.
out, it's still a fucking X-Men thing.
Kind of.
If you were to pick up a Wolverine
because
book
they did like the
out of,
adult
like,
Wolverine
the
where he's like
X-Men
doing in
section
Japan
of
and
the
stuff.
comic store, would you be like, why is it here? It would just make sense. Stop.
Right, but I'm saying like not all of the movies focusing on Wolverine are necessarily an X-Men. They don't have X-Men.
Are they not
There's no
X-Men
X's.
movies?
He's the only X-Men.
If you bought
X-Man.
an
In the
X-Men
movie.
series collection of films,
Yeah,
and the
you
Wolverine movies
you
are
could
in
put
it,
it there.
would you
could
be
also
upset?
not put it there.
It's in continuity with all the other X-Men
Sure.
movies. Yes, it's not.
It's in
it's
content,
sure.
but it's not like necessarily about the X-Men. It's about a single Wolverine. Like,
X-Man.
yeah.
X-Men.
Wolverine. It's still an X-Men movie though.
Like
all those things
like,
are affecting the greater
Sure,
universe and introducing
like
new
if you have like
characters.
MCU collections, right? You could have an MCU of just all of them, right?
Yeah.
If you wanted like an Avengers collection, right? You could just have all the Avengers movies.
Right.
If you want an Iron Man, you could have all the Iron Man movies, which is just 3 of them.
Right.
But you could have all the ones he like majorly appears in, like the
as well.
Avengers ones.
But I would say Iron Man is more separated from the Avengers than Wolverine is from the X-Men. Wolverine was first introduced in a Hulk comic, believe it or not, and he was a very different character at that time. When he was originally conceptualized, the claws came out of the gloves. Like, it wasn't like I have like bone claw bullshit or whatever. But since then, Wolverine has like firmly just been like an X-Men guy. When you think of Wolverine, you think of the X-Men. Yes, he has his own solo series and shit.
You think of the
but it's
title
all just kind of
Wolverine and the X-Men. Is the name
which
of
is
the
the name
cartoon.
of the show. It's
Wolverine
straight up.
and the X-Men.
That's because he's so popular. They're like, he'll sell it. But it's weird. You can just say X-Men, and I'm assuming Wolverine's gonna.
I mean, they already have like the '90s X-Men, so you need to have it called differently, I guess.
I guess.
You know,
There
like
are plenty of
X-Men-
things that don't do that.
Evolution, just a different
Lazy
thing.
name. Yeah. Let's see. Rocky Ford said, "Hi there, long time no see. Good to see you, Rocky Ford. Welcome." He said he's doing good. That's great to hear. He asked, "Do you think there will be a season 3 of Soul Calibur 6?" I'm not sure. I don't know how regularly they've been like updating Soul Calibur 6 stuff. I haven't been playing Soul
There are
Calibur 6
seasons of the
actively.
game.
He's talking about like DLC
Season
release
passes?
things. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
And then he said they didn't have any discussion topics. Okay, cool. Thank you for joining in,
Yeah,
Rocky Ford. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Mike, the legendary gamer, said, "What's up, guys? It's been a while." Yo, Mike, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Right now, we're just hanging out, talking about some nerd news and some weird news. So, we were talking about the weird vaccine thing. The anti-vaxxer doctor lady who thinks that the COVID vaccine can give people magnet powers because it has a weird metal in it. I actually could talk about this at length. Like, this could be like its own video.
Make it its own video.
I mean, would you want to do that?
No,
Well, then there we go. Then we can just do it in this
I
video.
don't know why you're saying it could be its own video. It could,
It could.
but you don't have to. It could also be not.
That's true. I didn't say it couldn't be. But anyways.
Any of these could be the wrong video.
Eh,
5-minute videos.
It has to do with like how much I have to say about it, though. One thing that I find interesting about it is that she believes that it's like some kind of metal in it. Is what
Is
like
it a ferrous metal?
like is it like a
It's
magnetic metal
yeah,
in the first
a bunch
place?
of metals are weird metal.
Fair, but
Like is it iron?
it makes me think about the DC
I mean,
comics.
your blood is full of iron.
Already, yeah. So there's a DC Comics thing where metahumans are like their equivalent of like mutants, like people who have like superhuman abilities. And in Dark Knight's Death Metal, they said this stupid ass thing, but it's canon, where metahumans are called metahumans because they have a metal from the dark multiverse in their like blood, and the name meta literally came from them shortening the word metal by a single letter. So instead of saying metal humans, they've been calling them metahumans this whole time because of the trace amount of like metal in their blood. Yeah, it's weird.
They took the L.
They took that L. So I think it's an interesting
They
like
took the L.
yeah.
But it's also a phrase.
I know. I get
I don't know
the
what that
I get
is.
the joke. Michelle, stop.
It's a 21st century cultural reference she doesn't get.
So taking an L is like taking a loss.
So when someone says they took the L or to take the L, it means they lost something or they got
It's like you're
wrecked.
down bad. Are you familiar with that phrasing? some more recent slang than taking the L. Synonymous stuff.
So to shorten metal to meta, they took the
that
L
L.
literally, but then they also took the L because it's a stupid thing.
Yeah, I don't know why you would do that. They would do it because it's a weird retroactive change.
As opposed to just using normal meta.
Which just means beyond human, which just makes sense. Let's see. Rocky Ford said, I sure am. Hey, I'm glad to hear that you're doing good, Rocky Ford. Mike said, have you seen the UFO report that's coming on June 29th?
29th?
June 29th?
I
Where'd
thought
you
it
get a
was-
specific date from? So
they
we're
push
close
it
to
back?
Mike. So
They just say June.
they said June generically. And we're like, sometime in June, we're going to get like a UFO. They call them UAPs.
Yeah.
Unidentified Aerial
So they're like
Phenomenon report
the end of
in June. See, I need a source, though, from Mike. Like, who is saying it's coming on the 29th specifically?
Congress?
Because I heard it was going to be like a...
Like, are
it's
they
a
giving it to
anytime
Congress in June and then they're going to, like, release it to everyone?
I think it's public release in June.
Okay, but, like...
Yeah, so I don't know about the 29th thing, but yeah, I'm hype about it. In previous Weird Nerd News videos, I've talked a lot about like the UAP UFO stuff. One thing that I don't have listed today, but could be a cool topic for us to talk about. Not too long ago on the news, we got to see video footage
of a bear on a thing.
That's something we saw earlier on the news, not what I was referring to.
Which news?
Excuse me.
The news.
The news. So there was this like video footage of like a radar thing that the Navy were looking at of UAPs or UFOs, and they were looking at like how fast they were going on the radar and like tracking their movements and stuff. And there's a moment where like a whole bunch of them like vanish, like they're suddenly just like off the radar, and they're theorizing that it's like we don't think they just zipped out of radar range by like going like distance, like just it's weird to talk about. It either went like above or below radar range.
Couldn't they have just like activated like a stealth to like disperse the radar?
The way that they talk about it, they think it went like really high up or went really low down,
or it just dispersed the radar or like absorbed it.
But based on video footage that we've seen of UAPs, we've seen that they can submerge themselves underwater. He's just doing it, Michelle. It's fine. So we know that don't use my blanket to fight while you're sprinkling your body dust everywhere.
It's like some paper-looking thing on my arm.
So we know that the UAPs or UFOs can like go into the water. They can like submerge themselves.
We know this?
Yes, based on footage that we've seen of these things.
Is it like sonar that they're doing on the underwater bits?
Like we've just seen on film.
Because
in the water. We know they can do the water thing. So I just find that fascinating. For one, that we get to see them on radar, because I hear a lot of people will talk about how like, well, looks can be deceiving with just like video footage if you're not capturing them on other instruments. Mm-hmm. But they've been like recently saying a lot like, no, we do see them on other instruments and we do see them on radar. And this is like our first time that we have seen that.
What?
And like an official context where they're just showing us like, here's what we see on the radar, and here's what's weird and crazy about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I thought that was cool. I find that interesting. Mike said, I think sometime in June because of a delay from June 1st. I'm not sure if it was a delay. I don't think they ever said it was coming at the beginning of June. They just said it was coming in June kind of thing. And we were hoping it'd be at the beginning of June. I know I was. Mike said, I think we're going to get an alien invasion soon. Well,
who do you think is going to invade soon? Which aliens?
How do you define invasion? Because the way that they talk, these UAPs and UFOs, if they are alien or whatever,
how do you know that aliens haven't already fifth columned invasion already begun? Secret invasion. Skrull head at.
They're already flying in like restricted airspace and stuff, and around like Navy vessels and stuff, apparently on like a daily basis. So like, have we like? Is that an invasion? Like, what are you counting as like an invasion? They're already
like assuming that the
encroaching
UFOs
are alien in the first place. Agreed. Because they may not be alien, but
yeah, they could be like time traveling robot Terminators. Makes as much sense as aliens.
So recently, I was watching a news thing.
Yeah.
And one of the newscasters asked another newscaster, "So what do you think about like the UFO stuff?" And she says, well, actually, I don't think they're aliens. I think they're like from the future. And then the newscaster said, okay, I just shouldn't have asked. I should have asked about the weather. And then she goes, oh, okay, yeah, I could do the weather. And she just walks over. So I thought that was interesting. When it comes to whether or not they're like aliens, I keep hearing people say the technology that they have is like way more advanced than anything that like we should have at all. And if it is like another country, they're like, well, we're fucked. Because that other country, they're just way better than us. Just we're nowhere close kind of thing. But I've also heard people say that like that just doesn't sound
what if they're a hostile country? They could be from Andorra or some shit.
Just tell us then. And why are they in restricted airspace and shit?
San Marino's, like, we had a whole ass fucking, like, alien spaceship looking thing the whole time. We keep it on the down low, though.
It's not on the down low. We
literally have no place to put it in San Marino because it's just the top of a mountain, but they're all invisible.
They're not invisible because we're seeing all the footage and shit. Anyways, so
if they can go underwater, then maybe someone with a coastline is hiding them underwater all the time. You know, like docks are underwater.
The UAP docks.
You know, just whoosh in the water.
Excuse me, USOs is what they call them when they go underwater. Unidentified submersive object or whatever.
What if they're just like skimming on it? Just like unidentified boat? Unidentified ship?
So, I think whatever they are, we don't know. Yeah.
From the name.
Well, we haven't seen the report
but
yet.
I feel like there are people who act like they just are alien. Like there are people who are like they feel confident in saying they're aliens. I don't feel confident.
So what evidence?
I think we just don't know.
Right.
Kind of thing. Aiden, I told him about the UAP UFO stuff, and he recently did a video where he like talked about a lot of the stuff that I talked about with him. He has told me that he watched a video that I have yet to see, where someone from NASA is talking about them, and he was like, "They've convinced me that the UAPs might be like other dimensional shit," and I was like, "What?" And he was talking about how...
Yeah, we saw that Star Trek episode where God was a spaceship in another dimension, kinda.
So,
semi-transparent.
Essentially, what Aiden told me is that this NASA person was talking about how the UAPs seem to have, like, no resistance to stuff. The way that it, like, moves through the air and, like, rapidly turns and shit, they're like, it shouldn't...
No drag!
Yeah, they're like, it shouldn't be able to do that. And also, it can move at like hypersonic speeds and not break the sound barrier and shit like that. I'm like, what does that mean? And then,
well, I mean, you can have your aerodynamics, you disperse the sonic boom, so you don't actually have to like have a big thing when breaking the sound barrier.
It seems like they just don't interact with like air at all. Is what it seems like.
The big holes and the air's going right through. It's like a screen door when you didn't put Flex Seal on it to turn it into the
still
boat.
have some sort of drag.
So it's this like weird concept.
The
of,
drag
like,
is negligible for this equation experiment, physics class. Just don't worry about it.
So it just seems like an interesting situation where if it really isn't interacting with matter, so it can just move in like a really crazy way. It just does seem like that's pretty fucking advanced. Like, if at a certain point it makes you go...
The air resistance thing that you don't have to worry about in the physics class, it's real. According to this NASA video guy, Aiden told Jet, and Jet's telling us...
Right.
Is if that's even true or a real thing.
Right, we need to check that out. I agree. We can watch that after this.
We don't.
We can. I didn't say that we are going to or that we have to. Options.
Yeah, options.
Dun 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 dun. I got options. It's a Jack Harlow reference. Let's see. So Mike said it was going 600 to 700 Gs, that in which pilots can't survive in that type of speed.
I mean, not without inertial dampeners.
So I would argue that it feels weird talking about like what pilots can and can't survive in.
Like you have a robot pilot. Like it could be a drone.
Yeah, for one, it could be a drone.
Unmanned aerial vehicle.
Whenever I hear people say stuff like that, it reminds me of the Batman Gotham by Gaslight animated movie where they're seeing a roller coaster for the first time and they're talking about how like the human body can't survive going 45 miles per hour. Like, it's you don't fucking know for real. Like, until we like actually look into like how you would do that.
With the aircraft we've tested and stuff, without like spaceship inertial dampeners from Star Trek, you don't know they can go 600 G. Maybe they have a way of compensating on their weird spaceship thing.
We don't know how their thing works to know whether or not a pilot could or could not survive in it, because we don't even know how it's doing the speeds in the first
Maybe
place.
the guy's riding on top, doing the thing like that. But he's invisible. You don't know where he's at.
Ryan just saying crazy shit now.
No, Dr. Strangelove, he's just riding it.
Let's see. This is not my real name, so what's going on? So I'm talking with
Yeah, but how can we trust you if we don't know your real name?
Ryan and Michelle about weird nerd news.
So they're allowed to know our names, but we can't know their real name.
Well, they're using an alias.
How do we know that their real name isn't "This is not my real name"? Case closed. So Mike brought up the whole UFO, UAP government stuff. So we're discussing the UFO, UAP government stuff. There's supposed to be like a big report that comes out this month where the government shares their information on UFOs and UAPs, and there's a lot of hype about it. Mike said, I mean, of course UFOs can't be aliens. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say it can't be. I don't fucking know. Like, I couldn't tell you. Like,
if an alien can fly here, then probably the craft they have could probably do whatever the fuck they're doing on the thing. The whoosh, 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 whoosh underwater shit.
That's fair. If it literally is like it ignores like the rules of matter interactions, you probably could just do shit that we think is impossible because it's already doing impossible shit.
Why don't you think it's aliens?
It could just also not be alien. Like, I don't know.
We don't
like,
have enough evidence
to support
say
any
it's
specific
aliens.
thing.
We don't have evidence to rule out it being aliens.
Exactly. That's what I would say as well. Let's see. And then he said, it could be us from the future or adversary tech from other countries. Adversary tech from other countries.
Fucking San Marino coming in here with its adversary tech.
Is what, like, I think the government is afraid of. Like, the idea that it could be, like, an enemy that has, like, advanced tech. And then in regards to it being from the future, I've heard a lot of people say that. Like, the concept of it being, like,
What's
from
the
the
country
future.
that borders France, like Monaco or something?
I don't know
Monaco?
why we would time travel back and fuck around in, like, restricted airspace.
You see, it's an all elaborate conspiracy of the alliance between Andorra, Monaco, Malta, and San Marino, all the tiny-ass countries, the Vatican, they're all in on it.
Ryan's just saying random stuff.
Not enough, like,
So
square footage to house spaceships.
Mike said, and this could be an intelligence failure because the U.S. military and government didn't pay attention, and that we need to be taking it seriously as to what they are and if they're a threat. Now, I do agree that, like, the U.S. should be taking it seriously, because if there are these, like, crazy flying things that we know exist and we know are just doing, like, impossible shit, we should try and figure out what they are, because it just could be, like, a threat. Just sounds like
That's what the threat wants you to think.
Mike said, I'm sorry if I made anyone upset about my conclusion. No. I don't think you upset anybody, Mike. You're totally cool. He said, just trying to be open-minded about the possibility. I think you're on the right track, my dude. Like, there's nothing wrong with coming up with different ideas for what it could be. And I'm not upset by anything. I just currently think it's still, like, we don't have enough to conclusively say anything other than seems advanced.
They said. And by they, it's Nick. Nick says.
But yeah, I think maybe in a separate video, I might talk more about, like, the anti-vaxxers believing that the shot can give you magnet powers. I feel like there are so many, like, comic book parallels and interesting implications to that, like, weird belief. Mike said, I'm just excited, that's all. Yeah, I think a lot of people are excited. I'm definitely going to cover more information on the report once it eventually comes out.
Like the CIA talks. alien report has completely overshadowed the CIA docs, don't you think? People talking about it. It's gone mainstream. Way more mainstream than those CIA video docs.
So he's talking about a thing that I made a video on a while ago about the gateway process or whatever, which was like an old declassified file about like psychic stuff.
It was a half as interesting video you put out like today about some of that.
Oh, he's late.
Yeah, I know.
Very late to talk about that.
Well, I don't know if it's the gateway process specifically, but he's talking about some CIA psychic thing.
Mm-hmm. It's like a Project Stargate thing?
Yeah, Project Stargate thing.
Related.
Right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, yeah, and they're proven psychics. But then some New Zealand guys show up and they couldn't replicate the thing. And so they're looking into it. They're like, it's actually, here's the methodology problems you had here. Friggin' New Zealand. They're scientists doing science, ruining the CIA's dreams of psychic super soldiers or something.
Let's see. Oh, I'm on the last news topic thing that I have for the day. Rick Sanchez is in Fortnite, and they have a bunch of emotes of him doing dances to like popular songs.
Yeah, Fortnite dances.
Well, just real dance, like TikTok dances or whatever.
I think it's like flossing or some shit from like 2005.
So they have him dancing to like Doja Cat, and they have him dancing to BTS. They have him dancing to DaBaby. Like he's just dancing to like a bunch of like real songs. But yeah, that one I don't really have much to say. But when I saw that video pop up in my Twitter feed, it was like a 2-minute video of him dancing to a bunch of different songs. And I watched the whole thing.
And then Fortnite's in Star Wars. So
we can talk about the crossover potential of a whole bunch of stuff. We already know that Rick and Morty had like a minor Gravity Falls crossover. The way that happened is that in Gravity Falls, they threw like a mug through a portal or something. And then in Rick and Morty, we saw that mug come through a portal, like the same mug.
We got Star Wars, right? Crosses over with Fortnite.
Yes.
And Fortnite crossed over with DC Comics, right?
Yes.
And DC Comics crosses over with Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
And Scooby-Doo crosses over with what?
A whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, but name one.
A whole bunch of these things.
Yeah, name one.
A whole bunch of WWE.
And WWE, and that's how WWE is connected to Star Wars.
That's true. WWE also appear in like Brawlhalla, the fighting game or whatever. That also has crossover with like Rayman. That's how Rayman
is connected to Star Wars.
Yeah, like you can just connect whatever you want to Star Wars at a certain point if they just keep
once
crossing
you get
over
Scooby-Doo.
Stuff. You don't need Scooby-Doo to do that.
So
So,
once you get Scooby-Doo, it unlocks many.
A matter of fact,
potential.
I'm gonna skip the shit out of Scooby-Doo on your
thing. Just WWE to DC Comics.
I don't know what he thinks I'm about to do.
Okay,
so
whatever the fuck.
Star Wars crosses over with Fortnite. Fortnite has DC Comics characters in it. Superman has teamed up with Savage Dragon before. Savage Dragon has crossed over with Hellboy. Hellboy is a playable character in Brawlhalla. The WWE characters are in Brawlhalla. And so is Rayman or whatever. There you go. Connected to Star Wars. Never mentioned Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, get the fuck out of here. That's the new Scooby-Doo show. Scooby-Doo, get the fuck out of here.
Connected DC to Superman.
Well, I mean, Fortnite has Superman and Batman, and like it's not like they just have one DC crossover thing.
DC crosses over with Superman, and Superman crosses over with
Savage Dragon.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Why did you say it as if I didn't say that?
I don't know. I wasn't listening. Keep using your elbows.
Let's see. Damn, I do want to talk about the anti-vaccine thing more. To be honest.
What's there to say?
Plenty, actually.
Then say it,
Okay,
Nick.
then I'm going to jump in on it. So, I actually find it really interesting that there are people who believe that you can get, like, magnetic powers from, like, vaccines. Because it's such a comic booky concept, right?
But so is a bunch of shit people believe in. People believe in, like, comic books and shit.
In what regard do people just believe in comic books and shit, like, directly? When Ryan just says statements.
Fine. Whatever.
Yeah,
we'll
like,
go with your thing.
you didn't have a thing.
Yeah,
They're not like
go
you had
with your
a
thing.
So, I think the concept of like a shot that people can like freely get anywhere and it's encouraged for everyone to get the
They
shot.
can't get it freely everywhere.
Fair. A shot that is pretty openly available depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. That like everyone's like encouraged to get, but that some people believe will give you powers. I think is fascinating. I feel like power should be a draw to make you want to get it. I think it's interesting that there are people who are saying that
Unless
that's
the
like a
powers kill you.
downside.
Why are you saying powers?
Yeah, is magnets in your forehead powers?
She says it makes you magnetic. Like if you watch the clip, she's not explicitly saying magnetic forehead. You don't get the shot in your forehead. It's not.
Well, then what's the spoon forehead thing?
She said that there are pictures online of people having like the magnetic stuff stuck to their face or
You
whatever.
can just glue that on her face.
You can also,
Photoshop a spoon.
you can also just easily stick certain things to your face. It's not that hard to do that. Have you ever stuck a coin to like the palm of your hand?
Isn't it like the
And it's
whole,
just
like,
you just do
spoon
it?
on nose thing?
Yeah, like you could very easily do it. It doesn't have to be like a crazy thing. It's the fact that
COVID
people.
vaccine, spoon on nose, confirmed.
It's the fact that people believe that.
You look
That's
at
a
it, but
thing.
the real psychic thing is if you can spoon on nose and then bend it without touching it.
While on your nose.
Yeah, well, it's on a boom, bends around.
Elephant style. So
Or like if you could like it's on the nose, but you could like spin
I know
around that
Like a
axis.
windmill face?
Yeah, windmill face the thing.
helicopter dick your nose. That got
More
me
like
shook.
an airplane. The helicopter's up on top, but it's on the front of the face.
That's interesting because for helicopter dick, it's not on top.
Well, why you say helicopter dick though?
Because that's the thing.
Right, but like, why are you doing to the spoon?
How does that not fit within the analogy?
Like, are they laying down
No.
to make it? So they're just not doing it right. They should play airplane dick. Why helicopter dick?
They should play airplane dick. It's a game.
Like, are they doing like the back tail like maneuver like one? Because the helicopter is like the up and down. Helicopter just have two blades. The other blade is on a different like
I like how
axis.
you use a back tail maneuver. They'd have to stand sideways to the perspective.
No, but it would make more sense the helicopter dick thing. Like, which helicopter?
You're like, is it the back rotor?
Yeah, is it?
I think they're referring.
Urban Dictionary.
I don't think that's. It's not that specific, nigga. It's just. It's just the motion is a similar. It's just a rotating thing. Windmill
The other
dick would
one-
make more sense.
Why does that make more sense?
Windmills are the proper
Okay.
orientation.
Windmills, right? Okay.
Mhm.
It's like helicopter blades have like the rotor thing. Yeah, like two, maybe one, right? It's spinning. Windmills have like three things moving around like that. You haven't like
Dicks
three
don't have
dicks.
two. Dicks don't have two.
Then why are you telling a
It's the
helicopter?
motion. It's
But
the
you don't
mo-
have one on a helicopter. Unless you're doing like one of those spiral helicopter ones.
And then if your dick's like that, you should go see a doc.
Yeah, you got the corkscrew penis.
You're a duck.
thing. Yeah.
DuckTales. Woo! The cringe. That was quite interesting, Michelle. Mike said, also, are you excited for E3 2021 tomorrow for the summer gaming?
Who is excited for E3 2021?
A lot of people. So I didn't know that E3 was tomorrow. I used to watch E3 all the time. I remember when I was first interning at my job, we watched E3 at my job, like on our laptops or whatever while we were working.
Yes?
Yeah, excuse me. So I like burped while saying yeah. So I do think that like I'll be watching announcements from E3 or whatever, but I don't think I'm going to be maybe live watching. Excuse me, fuck. I don't think I'm going to be watching live broadcasts of E3. The shakes hit my stomach. It's like, oh, gas, burp, burp, burp. Michelle seems like she's in danger.
Danger of what?
You're all
I'm just gonna do what?
like elbow me.
Let's see. Mike said, have you seen the Battlefield 2042 teaser? I have not. I don't care about shooting games for real. I have seen on Twitter people talking about Battlefield 2042. But whenever I see that, I go right past it because I go, oh, that's something I don't care about. Crazy. I've heard that DC Legion of Super Pets now has like a teaser trailer kind of thing. Haven't seen it yet. I should see it.
See if Clay Critter's in it.
Man, I hope Clay Critter's in that fucking movie.
He's not gonna be in it.
But what if he is though?
He's not gonna be in it.
You don't know.
He's not gonna be in
You
it.
don't know if he's gonna
He's
be
not
in
gonna
it.
be in it.
He's a
He's
member.
not gonna be in it.
You
He's
guys
an
should
official
bet on
member.
it.
I don't bet.
Neither do I.
Why not?
Cause stupid.
It is stupid.
Bet nothing then.
Why? That sounds more stupid.
Yeah. He's not gonna be in it.
I don't know. I'm saying I don't know.
I'm saying it's not gonna be in it.
How are you so sure?
Cause no one knows who the fuck Clay Critter is.
We know who Clay Critter is.
I don't.
It's a 21st century
this
cultural
way.
reference Michelle doesn't get.
So Clay
And
Critter.
her and like every other like person on the planet.
So-
The person
Only
who
you
like
two.
So
yeah,
Clay,
not even the comic book writers.
so Clay Critter is a character who's literally appeared in only like one comic and then on the cover of like another comic. Essentially, he's a member of the Legion of Super Pets. We have no idea what he can do. We have no idea who owns him. All we know is that he went on a mission with the Legion of Super Pets. He died mysteriously, and
Like off
Streaky
screen.
the cat blames Crypto the Super Dog for the death. I didn't. I think we ran through the royalty-free music, which means it could do anything now, and I don't know what it. Nope.
It's an ad.
Nope.
It's
Fucking
an ad
ad.
from
No,
McDonald's.
no. McDonald's is gonna cuck me.
Well, just like mute it. Yeah.
I muted it. We did it. We dodged it. We dodged the demonetized bullet. I do like McGriddles.
Do they like you?
I don't think they like being
Probably not.
consumed.
Yeah. They don't like factory farms, cows and shit.
Let's see. No copyright, just don't mind if I do.
Yes.
Smoothie jazz.
I suppose they're rough jazz.
Yeah. Rough jazz can lead to rough jizz. You don't want that. Let's see. So we were talking about, I heard that Kevin Hart is supposed to be playing Ace the dog. That's Batman's
Why?
dog. I don't know.
Why would you?
Why
Of
would-
all the people,
Right.
it's like a stoic, like from the crypto show, right? Put Kevin Hart in that. Why?
Why is
Why?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson crypto?
I don't know.
It's just weird.
Is it just everyone
Just
from like
popular
the friggin' Jumanji movie?
Yeah.
Get Karen Gillian as Streaky? I don't know who Jack Black's gonna play. Maybe Clay Critter. He'll die. I don't know. Who else is even on that team? Bird or some shit?
The bird? What the
What the monkey
like the
guy?
Plastic Man bird? Beepo the monkey?
I don't. Jack Black's gotta play somebody.
Is Super Horse gonna be in it?
Like
Is he gonna try to
Supergirl's
fuck
boyfriend?
Supergirl? Yeah, Supergirl.
What did you guys
Supergirl dated a super horse. It's like a werewolf thing, but imagine if you were like
Werehorse.
a super horse most of the time, and then on like full moons you're a guy, like a normal
Supergirl is
guy.
dating that
Yeah.
horse person guy. Yeah,
Well, she's dating the guy,
the guy.
but she's also regularly riding the horse. Yeah. Let's see. So Mike said, and what about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart? So there's a new Ratchet and Clank game. Everybody's like,
Don't care.
oh shit, next
Never played any of
generation.
them.
Oh, it's like a masterpiece on the PlayStation 5. I don't own a PlayStation 5. I don't really want a PlayStation 5 until they have like a good library of games. I'll probably buy a
Or
PlayStation 5.
until you can actually buy one.
I can. I could.
Yeah, but like
I-
scalper, like
Oh,
can you
true.
actually buy one?
True. So it's been a
Maybe-
problem to get PlayStation 5s because there's just a
Like
lot of
5
scalping.
people bought all of them, and they have a big pile of them in their
And
house.
they like selling them at like a higher price in like the outer market or whatever.
Even worse than like the Wii or some shit.
Yeah, so it's hard to get a PlayStation 5, but I also don't want one. I'll probably buy one near like end of like once the PlayStation 6 is coming out, that's probably the best time to get a PlayStation 5. Just cheaper and you have like an actual library of games or whatever. Because they're going to keep just making
Yeah, like just like now that the Switch is getting a new Switch, is a good time to get the Wii U. It's been like 10 years now.
The Wii U doesn't have like a huge library because it got rotated out so quickly. It's just never a good time to get a Wii U. Let's see. But Ratchet and
Because you
Clank.
can't play Assassin's Creed Rogue. You got 3. You got 4. Where's the 3.5 game?
Ryan sometimes just says
Still
random,
salty
slightly
about that.
related things.
Like what? It's the same engine as the other. Just put it on there. Oh, they never did.
Ryan's out here dying a little bit. He's having a crisis. So Ratchet and Clank are Rift Apart. I'm sure it'll be a good game. I personally have never been a big fan of Ratchet and Clank games, and I don't really care too much about the PlayStation 5, personally. Let's see. Mike said, I love jazz and lo-fi hip-hop. That's something you and I
But you
have in
love
common.
lo-fi jazz?
Never heard of that? That sounds interesting if it
Like you
exists.
put them together.
Right. I don't know. Wouldn't it be lo-fi jazz hop?
You could, but do you really need to add the hop?
Yes, because it's just a different thing then. Because lo-fi just means low fidelity. It has to do with like the recording. It's not just like the genre.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Mike said, at least when I'm asleep or when I'm studying.
He likes it when he's asleep.
Godzilla said, booty pee. Hey, wait, it's Ryan. Hey,
No, it
Ryan,
isn't.
what do you think of open penis surgery? That tickled Ryan. You tickled Ryan with open penis surgery. Let's see.
That's an interesting sentence.
Oh, there are plenty.
Okay. Godzilla. Real question. Who would win? A trillion lions or open penis surgery?
Like,
In a fight.
is it one surgeon trying to give a trillion lions open penis surgery while they're trying to fight him?
Right. So Godzilla needs to come up with that answer.
I think the surgeon gets killed by a trillion lions. Who's the
What's he
surgeon?
saying?
The
What's he saying?
Hulk? So Godzilla said, Amgil backwards would win.
Why did you say it like that?
What do you mean? How else would I say it?
Ligma would win.
Nuts! Ha! Got it! Like that.
You didn't do it good enough.
What?
I don't know what just happened.
Oh, well, you can
Some
read.
People,
You can
the
read
other
what he
stream,
said
People
if
are
you
trying
want.
to get Nick
You can read that
to
out
say
loud if you
various
want.
things. But I don't think doing it in a chat like that works as much because you can't just yell out something like Nick was doing. Like when they're trying to get you to read it. Like I don't know if it works.
They can't like catch you.
Yeah, they
and,
can
like,
catch
say
you
it.
in the text.
Right. They'll have like a delay catch.
Like unless they're trying to get you to like read a whole thing, and the whole thing is like a weird thing. Because I guess they're trying to do that.
But then I can just
Like half-
read ahead. I
Yeah,
can just read
yeah.
the thing. Godzilla said, Jet, that's not how it works. You gotta trip them. He said you gotta ask them, hey, have you heard of Amgil backwards? And then they say, what's Amgil backwards? And then you say the line. Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's how it works either. Who's falling for that?
People fall for that.
Okay.
We could catch Michelle with that with ease later. I assure you.
Yeah, 21st century cultural references.
Michelle, have you heard of Updog?
I don't know.
Sounds like a trap.
Let's see.
Is that one word or 2 words?
It's one word.
Okay, why is it 1 word?
Why is that one word? What?
Is there a hyphen?
Yeah, up and dog are different words. Why would you put them as 1 word?
It just means something else.
Is it like a proper noun, like capital?
No.
I don't know what you're trying to spell, Nick.
What are you asking?
I don't know. What's he saying?
Let's see. Godzilla said, anyways, let's leave the Amgil backward stuff. And now I want to ask Ryan an actual question. Ryan, have you played this new weird game called...
What, I can't... Goblin? Wait, is that what it said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, Ryan hasn't been gobbling these nuts. That one's like a very like innocent one to read, and then once you figure out what the D's nuts thing is, it's like, I got him.
I mean, I don't have any nuts. Like those that container of like mixed nuts or like cashews. I don't eat from that. I haven't been eating any of that.
Michelle was like, Ryan doesn't have any nuts? What? Sister? Ella? Yeah. Let's see. Godzilla said, I don't know either. He said, but you better start gobbling these nuts. Ha!
Got him.
They're going for it. They're trying.
It's just Godzilla here right now.
True.
How many viewers is there?
2 right now.
Who else is there?
You're like,
Somebody.
who is the second person?
Make yourself known.
Let's see. And then Godzilla said, no, you better start gobbling these testicles.
Whose? Give me a name.
Doctor Who's testicles?
I mean, Doctor Who doesn't always have testicles. If Doctor Who is a character, because that's not the character name. So you wouldn't do that.
How do you know that the female doctor doesn't have testicles?
We don't know.
Don't know that they ever have.
We don't know any of the male doctors have testicles. Are they naked? On screen, you see their dick out and their testicles? There's naked people on Doctor Who, but it's censored, Nick. Censored. So can you really be sure?
I mean, he did have like a granddaughter, the first one.
You're like, where's
Yeah,
the semen
and then-
coming from?
Doctor number 10 also had like a gene clone derived daughter.
Yeah, but that was just like from his hand.
His hand?
Yeah, they just stuck his hand in the machine. They took like a DNA sample.
As
and
opposed
then
to
they
the
made-
other time where he had the hand clone. Different hand! I'm like, it's not the hand him from the hand. Is it even the same hand?
Let's
It's
see.
like season 4, right?
Well,
where
no,
that
no,
happened.
yeah, it's not that.
So
hand.
Even if it was the same side hand thing, it would have been the regrown hand.
Yeah.
So Godzilla said mine. And then he said the doctor is not called Doctor Who.
Yeah, Nick. You should watch a 5-hour video about this shit.
I did watch a 5-hour
And you didn't
video
pick that up?
by JXE about Doctor Who. I know he's called the Doctor. It always gets
She's
me.
called the doctor. When it's a she.
They're called the Doctor.
If you're going to refer to all of them, I guess.
Or just even to an individual.
What's
There
what's their
wrong
preferred
to say.
pronouns?
Has anyone asked?
Yeah, it's like, do we know the preferred pronouns of the Doctor? Also, it always gets me when people say stuff like, his name's Static, not Static Shock. You guys know what the fuck I'm saying. It's just the easier way to reference the thing, because otherwise it's like a single word that could or could not be in reference to a character.
It's like if you did Spider-Man without the hyphen.
I think it's more like if you said, it's Spider, not Spider-Man, or some shit. It's like, what? Like, you know, what is, well, for one, people call him Spidey. You can
In
say
the
that.
show,
That makes sense.
the doctor always
it
is
wouldn't
like telling
actually.
people, call me the doctor all the time. When people ask what their name is or whatever, right?
Static and his thing, like people just call him Static or whatever. It's just like to make it 100% clear who you're talking about. You can just say the rest of the show name, and people still contribute it to the character. Or
If
whatever.
you don't have like an antecedent or something, I guess. You know? I don't know.
What,
Michelle
the
squinted
name,
and looked
the
up.
antecedent?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Just like not a specific name.
Like if you're just talking about Static and you already have like, no, you're talking about Static Shock.
But I did,
Or like the character, like you're talking about the TV show character, comic book character, whenever they're gonna be in like a movie or something character,
It's all called
video game.
Static Shock.
right? You might need to be more specific. So you might need to have not just Static Shock, but like Static Shock from like Young Justice or something. That like Virgil Hawkins or whatever.
If you're talking about a specific
Well,
Static,
yeah.
then
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Nick.
Ryan sometimes just says stuff. Let's see. So Godzilla said, I like how the Rick and Morty hashtag in the description is only half of something. So instead of hashtag Rick and Morty, it's hashtag Rick. I could have sworn
And
I put
Morty.
in hashtag Rick and Morty. Did it not like hashtag the full thing? Like,
Like,
does it
should
not
be, like-
count the ampersand? That might be a thing. It might like see the ampersand and like cut it off,
Does that mean you can't use ampersand? You just have to say and, like spell
like
it out.
spell it out. That might be the case. That's good to know. He said it did not hashtag the whole thing. Ah, so it does stop at ampersand. I'm gaining knowledge. Let's see. So we've talked about all the weird nerd news topics. I feel like I said, in a separate video, I might talk about the like anti-vaccine magnet thing or whatever. I think that'd be cool. But anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Ryan and Michelle, did you guys have a good time on the stream? This is when Ryan would maybe say like no or something, like just to say it.
What are you doing? With the remote, is that a microphone?
Yeah.
He's got an actual thing in his hand instead of a pretend not actual thing in his hand microphone?
Yes. You have a fun time?
It'll like turn me off. Like,
Turned you
hit the
off?
mute button.
What?
The remote!
He's like, I was erect.
You think I'm a
before.
TV?
Do you have a fun time?
Hit the change input button.
You have a fun time? Now it's
When I point at you.
now it's the remote's
Just do
booty.
the no comment.
No comment? Okay. You have a fun time?
No comment.
No comment. Hey, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys like this video. The short from your boy, Jeff, like one only here with
No comment.
Ryan and Michelle. Logging out. Peace, guys. Check it about.